I'm delighted to be here today in Ankara, Turkey, talking about one of the most relentless enemies that we have when it comes to development, when it comes to the fight against climate change and the fight for nature, and that is, of course, wildland forest fire. It is absolutely destroying areas of nature, but worse yet, it's destroying economies, it's destroying livelihoods, and it's taking lives. One of the reasons we're here is to talk about new ideas and new approaches to integrated forest management, and that means thinking about private sector solutions. Forest fire management has traditionally been something the public sector does, and no public sector does it better than OGM here in Turkey. But increasingly there are private sector solutions, particularly in the data, decision-making and information technology sense. We've got people here sharing their ideas around forest fire monitoring satellites, for example. What does that look like? How can we make sure that detection happens earlier? Because when we talk about forest fire management, we spend a lot of time talking about forest management, about fuels management. That's important. But we also need to talk about prevention, because prevention matters. Avoided cost matters at a time when there's so little fiscal space for governments to have to respond to disaster after disaster. Turkey saw that here with the huge fires in 2022. Other countries see it all the time. And that's part of the work of the World Bank, is we're here to make sure that our capital, our convening services and our technical assistance is deployed to find the least cost approaches to integrated forest management. It means making sure we can help with technology transfer. We can help with information sharing, building these kinds of platforms that allow the best practice from the private sector, from the public sector, not just across the Europe and Central Asia region, but globally, to come and share what they're doing, what works, how much it costs, to find lower cost solutions, to think about how to use globally good practice coming from the private sector, coming from the public sector, to fight forest fires. And we're put our money where our mouth is here in Turkey. We're investing $400 million with the government exactly to think about prevention, to think about how do we stop this relentless enemy that is destroying economies, destroying competitiveness, taking lives and livelihoods, and is stopping us from being able to fight climate change. I'm delighted to be here in Ankara for this workshop we're having hosted by the Turkey Public Sector on Forest Management, but we couldn't be here if it wasn't for the Korean Green Growth Trust Fund. Korea has done some of the most cutting-edge work on integrated forest management and thinking about forest fire management and prevention in particular, thinking about the use of data and technology for prevention. And that's why we're so proud to be here. We're so happy and thrilled that the Korean Green Growth Trust Fund is supporting us to bring together partners from all over Europe and Central Asia, as well as thought leaders globally, including from South Korea. Because at the end of the day, our job as the World Bank, supported by the generous people of Korea, is to bring the best ideas, the least cost ideas, so we can solve the problem of wildland forest fires.